Anal Lovers 4-Pack, Books 21 to 24, Anal Sex Erotica, First Time Virgin Anal Erotica Collection. Copyright 2023 by Kimmy Welsh. Written by Kimmy Welsh. Narrated by Talula Rouge. My first anal on the trail. Anal Lovers 21. It probably wasn't our finest idea to hike the Appalachian Trail in the winter, but Collins said that's all part of the challenge.
"It's easy to do it in spring and summer, Hannah," he said. "The real heroes do it in winter."
It also just so happened that our job meant we couldn't take any time off in the spring and summer. It all seemed a little too convenient, but I was up for the challenge of hiking with my older colleague. I think he just wanted the company, and at 19, I was happy enough going along for the ride. It was a form of extreme workplace bonding, if nothing else. We went northbound to make things easier. Northern Georgia, where the trail begins, doesn't get too cold in the winter, but it gets cold enough. The plan was that as we went north, the weather would begin to improve, especially since we were starting in February. Our packs were heavy. I'd done some practice with them beforehand to get some strength in my legs, but nothing compared to that first day. We were excited to begin with, but it soon became an uphill slog. Colin kept his spirits high and tried to do the same for me in the meantime.
"There's no rush,"
he'd say, and we'd often stop to take in the sights. The walk was relentless, but there was something healing about getting back to nature like that. Out there, you couldn't really get a sense of humankind, apart from the trail that had been cut into the woodland from decades of hiking. At any moment, you could close your eyes and just be, you know? It seemed like such a beautiful and natural setting, which made what Colin and I did there even more jarring in comparison. I'd always been close to him at work. I don't know what it was, but I'd bonded with him, despite the fact he was in his 40s. People found our workplace relationship strange, but Colin and I didn't mind. They thought a 19-year-old shouldn't be that close to a guy in his 40s, but we weren't breaking any laws. We packed enough supplies for the first few days of walking, and we used those supplies at intervals that Colin dictated. We really had to earn our food, but it felt so much nicer when we actually got the chance to eat. As the light started to fade on the first day, we set up our tent. The temperature began to drop the second the sun disappeared below the tree-lined horizon.
"I think we should get in and start getting warm,"
Colin said.
"If we cook at the entrance to the tent, hopefully some of the heat will come inside."
"Can't we just cook in the tent?" He shook his head quickly.
"Nah, no way. This tent is our survival out here. You can't jeopardize that. You gotta think out here, hon."
"Right, of course."
"Besides, it's fun getting cozy and warm, isn't it?"
"I guess. I had no idea how fun it'd be."
"Something about a cold bed that really does it for me."
"Not me. I want a nice warm bed." I looked off distantly and imagined the comforts of home. I didn't want to start missing them on our first night, but it was so fresh in my memory. The night before, I'd bedded down on a soft mattress. Out here, I had a thin sleeping mat and an even thinner barrier to the outside world.
"Come on,"
Colin said, and he threw his bag inside to the back of the tent.
"Let's get in."
We cooked and ate as it started to get dark. Colin used his flashlight to see what he was doing. He said it had to last until he could recharge it somewhere. Afterwards, the two of us got into our sleeping bags with full stomachs. I could hear the pair of us breathing hard, and I'm pretty sure I could make out the fogginess of our breath as it left our cooling bodies. "It's cold, Col," I whispered over.
"It'll warm up," he said. "We'll warm up."
"Just by lying here?"
"There are quicker ways."
"Like what? Are you sure we can't just light that cooking stove in here?"
"No way,"
he said sternly. "Then what?"
"If you start moving, you'll get warm."
"But I'm trying to sleep. Moving isn't going to help that."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?